Welcome to Beyond the Beef, where we not only talk about business problems, we talk about business solutions. So, Bob.
Yes, sir.
What's your beef today, my friend?
So, it's going to be mine.
All right.
I know it's yours too. It's just because we have to share this story, right? But the beef is airline travel. Now, I know there's been like a million comedy routines on this, and everyone has had their story. And I'm going to just warn everyone, there's probably no immediate solution to this. But my goodness, like, is it me? Or is this just getting
worse?
Ridiculous, you know? I mean, I can handle the security and all the things that most people, but the lack of comfort on the planes is just getting to a point of
it's ridiculous,
absurd levels, you know? So we were on the plane the other night. We happened to be traveling together, which we don't always do, but we happen to be doing it this time. I'll just share this story for you guys because it's just incredible. So, you know, someone in front reclines. Now, I want to say we're in the equivalent of whatever would be the middle of coach and business class, right? I don't want to say what this one is called because I don't want to give away the airline name just out of respect.
Which defined is somewhere in the title is comfort.
Comfort is the
so just the ironic part of this whole thing.
Comfort section.
Ironic part of this whole thing.
So in any event, now when you're in the non-comfort section, which having a section that's called comfort
means
implies
uncomfortable section.
The other one,
comfortable section.
Not at all comfortable. Right, but okay, true. But in the non-comfort section, I don't know why they let people recline ever, right? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, is it that much more comfortable when you're in this position, like versus this position? I just don't.
To be there.
I don't get it.
And there's that person that does it right away.
Right away.
I mean, that plane is off and the boom.
But it's ridiculously uncomfortable for the person in back who's trying, this is always me, trying to be considerate of the person in back of them. Right. So now you're like, crunch this. It's ridiculous, okay? So you go into the comfort section so that when somebody does recline,
you hope to have a little bit extra space.
Right.
You
so
hope to have a little bit extra.
So the person reclines, right? And you witness this.
Right next to
pictures of this.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
show them. Yeah.
The person reclines, and clearly there was something wrong with the seat because it reclines right into my lap. Right? I could not get my tray up.
So the point where your food tray couldn't open. And we were literally trying to balance the water bottle on your food tray, and it was sliding because it wouldn't open all the way. It was ridiculous.
And this is the section that has extra inches, right?
Comfort. This is comfort.
So what I thought was the funny, well, first of all, I want to say that if you weren't there and we weren't able to laugh about it and joke about it,
I would have hit the roof.
I would have hit It was like a blessing that we were together and could make fun of it, whatever else, and think about this episode. But I think the worst thing about it was when we called the flight attendant over, right? And by the way, if you remember, this is the funny thing about it, is that when the person reclined, right, they right away like put on their headphones.
They were out.
Pretended like
nothing was going, like they couldn't hear your voice directly behind him by like a foot. You were a foot by his ear. His head was right here.
Pretended like this was a normal position to be literally like a bed.
Well, he must not be able to hear you.
So in any case, called the flight attendant over and said, hey, you see what's going on over here? Can you fix this for me? Person, I don't want to be so rude as to bang on the guy's thing. Can you fix this? And what was the person's response? Do you remember?
She at first said, actually, he's just reclining.
Exactly.
He's just reclining, and I think he's asleep. He's just reclining.
And I had to point out that his reclining,
and the guy next to him,
45 degrees more than everybody else's.
Exactly. And then she offered you, I think, a drink, and you said, "Where am I going to put it? My tray table doesn't even open up."
When I was, I don't know if you remember. So when all that happened, I said, "What I want you to do is, I don't want to drink. I want you to fix this." And she said the line that'll kill me. "Well, sir, I wish I was an engineer."
That's right. That's right. And actually, you said something like, "I am an engineer."
And this isn't that hard. All you have to do is ask him to
just
not recline so much
because
his seat is broken.
She wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it.
So that's one story, an extreme example, right? But what it really points out is it shouldn't have taken the seat to be a little bit broken and all of a sudden I have absolutely no space.
Right.
And then you get down to the other piece of it where, people are like scrunched up. Have you ever been in the middle seat on one of these,
that's the worst.
on a smaller jet or even the inner seat on a regional jet,
Sure.
and people are fighting for the armrest. Again, there's routines all over the place about this. But what's crazy about it for business people, right? I shouldn't even say business. Anybody who wants to travel, business people have to do it a lot.
Yeah, we just have to do it more often.
And you normally are doing it because you have to be somewhere right after you. You
Right.
got to conduct business when you get off the plane, or worse, you're trying to conduct business on the plane, and it's impossible, right? Yeah. It's crazy.
I think you did actually at one point have your laptop open, by the way,
just to demonstrate.
It's great.
So I mean, okay, we already know there's going to be no solution to this thing, right?
All.
But then there's another one. I'm gonna get on this thing. But the overhead bin space, right? Mm-hmm. So every single flight I'm on, they're now getting to the point of announcing, well, if you're in zone, 2 or 3 or whatever the equivalents are, that you should check your bag now. I was like,
before you even get on the plane.
Yeah, so why are we doing it here? Like, why are we fighting for the overhead space and all this other stuff? Like, just check everybody's bag. Can we just do that?
If you could look at the population, it's pretty obvious what's going on. Carry on and a bag. Everybody's got it.
Everybody's got it.
So how are you not estimating the fact that you're going to have this problem every single time you get on this plane?
Somewhere along the way.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So I have one more that I just want to throw out there, right? Outside
of
the comfort and everything else. So now what's happening is they're estimating an hour and a half flight to take 4 hours.
Oh, I've noticed that too. I was just talking about that last night.
So every flight that I'm taking, it's like, well, good news, we're going to be 50 minutes early. I'm like, physically, we should never, ever be 50 minutes early on an hour and a half flight. It's like,
I will tell you, from O'Hare to Chicago, there's no joke at all. From O'Hare to Chicago, I left an hour and 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
And I arrived 5 minutes early. How in God's name does that happen? Unless you're like, you know what? Let's just add an extra hour and a half to the arrival time.
No problem, yeah.
They will always be on time.
Always be on time, and they announce it like it's a good thing. So I was next to, this was just I don't know, a couple of, but I was next to somebody who was kind of a newbie flyer, right? And they said 50 minutes, and he literally turns and says, wow, that's good. I'm like, it's not good.
Oh, you rookie.
It just means that they lied to you about when you were supposed to get there. Right?
And by the way, the departure time is when you leave the gate. So I've been in situations also where we leave the gate right on time. We sit on the tarmac for an hour and a half. Hey, we left on time. We got that one right.
But you still get there.
But we still get there.
On time.
On time. It's like, what is happening here? We left the gate on time, sat on the tarmac for an hour and a half, arrived on time. Everything was smooth and perfect. It's
not our fault.
It's amazing. We did our job. 4 hours from New York to Chicago.
So listen, I guess the conclusion to this one, we know we have
you feel
no
your
solution.
pain is really
This was good, therapeutic.
Therapy.
Yeah. But if you're in the airline industry and you're listening, and I know you don't care because you're making profits, everything good, and I'm glad for you, that's great. But you know what? You're not kidding anybody. Somewhere along the way, something better is going to come along, right? Whether it's high-speed rail or an airline that figures it out, or you know what, ready to walk. Right. But it's crazy. It's crazy,
nuts.
And it's got to be fixed. We're the customers,
it's nuts.
And it is not comfortable, and something's got to be done. And you know what? That's my beef for today.
I love it. I love it. And if you're a flyer, you're not alone. You're not alone. Please believe me that we're going through the same sort of things.
Yeah.
If you can, try to stay calm. I've seen people also hit the roof on some of this stuff.
That's not worth it.
But try to stay calm and take it as it comes because there's only so much you can do. But you're not alone. So hopefully, if nothing else, this was decent therapy to know that we've had some pretty bad situations as well. Damn, we didn't even get to mine. But we talked about yours.
Did we not talk about yours?
No, we didn't talk about my issues at all, except for the leaving or whatever. But that's fine. We'll do that.
Do you have issues on this too? We could do a part 2.
I got a lot of them.
We could do airline part 2.
I think we should.
That means that we have not moved beyond anything.
Yeah.
But why don't we try and do that next time?
I think that sounds good to
All
me.
All right. So then we'll see you next time on part 2
of Beyond the Beef.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome to Beyond the Beef.
Welcome to Fantasy Isle.
The plan.